Okay, now that you've gotten used to using Inventor and you've got a good foundation of how to use some of the many features, let's go ahead and learn a little bit about navigating around the program and modifying work that we've already done. It's actually easy and quick to do. So to do this, we're going to start with a new part file. So go ahead and open one. You'll notice on my screen it looks a lot different. We're missing some things. This occasionally happens to students. You'll notice that my view bar over here, my navigation bar and my view cube is missing, and then my model browser on the left side is missing as well. They're actually really easy to get back. If you go to View, User Interface, make sure you put a check next to View Cube. Look how it pops back up. Navigation bar, that pops back up, and then model browser, and that pops back up. On that same note, if for some reason you notice your screen at the top kind of looks like this, or maybe even like this, if you keep clicking this little arrow here, it just kind of scrolls through the different ways you can make the top look, and eventually you can get everything back to what you needed. Okay, so let's start a sketch. We're going to make a quick gear. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, pause the video as needed. I'm going to choose the XY plane so it's kind of facing me. And I'm going to go with this circle tool this time and start right here in the center origin. So click and move your mouse out, and I'm going to type in 6, enter, finish sketch, and I'm going to zoom all so I can see what I'm doing. All right, and I'm going to extrude that. Instead of 1 inch, I'm going to change this to 0.5. Okay, so it's a 1/2 inch thick. All right, now I want to add to this. I want to build upon it. So I'm going to go and click the Start 2D Sketch button, click on this front face, and stick with the circle tool. Again, I'm going to work from the origin, and I'm going to click and pull my mouse out and type in 2, enter, finish sketch, and I'm going to extrude that now. 1/2 inch is good, so I click OK. And let's continue. Another 2D sketch on top of that new circle. Circle tool again. And from the center, this time I'm going to go 0.5 and hit enter. Finish sketch. Now on this extrusion, we're going to go backwards. So I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to go through all so that it makes sure that it extrudes all the way through. Click OK. And now you've got a hole centered in the beginnings of our gear. Okay. So let's continue. We're going to make even another 2D sketch. Okay. We're going to go back to the original face here and stick with the circle tool. Now I might scroll in just a little bit so you can see this better. I want to stick right here in the corner. So notice how mine turns from black to purple as I hover over it. Yours may be a different color, but I'm going to go ahead and click at that one spot right there and move my mouse out. And I'm going to type in 0.5, enter. So I've kind of done a half circle. Finish sketch. Okay. And I'm going to again scroll in just a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to hit extrude. And I want to make sure I have the little semicircle here selected. So hover over until you've got that selected. And we are going to extrude it inward through all. Okay. And now I've cut a little notch out. And while I've kind of zoomed in here, I'm going to go right to my fillet tool and put a couple fillets on. So one here and one here. Click OK. All right. So I want to take that pattern that I just made and move it all the way around. All right, so right from this window right here, I'm going to click on circular pattern. And I don't need to click on features because it's already highlighted. So I'm going to click on this little notch, and then I'm going to click on the fillets. Usually you only have to click on one of them and they'll both highlight. Okay, now I'm going to click on the rotation axis button and go over here to the middle. And you can see it's made that notch all the way around 6 times. I'm going to change that 6 to 24 and then click OK. So now I'm starting to look like I've got a gear here. Okay. But let's add a little bit more. We're going to go to 2D sketch button again, click on it, and we're going to click on this hub face here. All right. I'm going to put some bolts in here. We're not going to worry about threads or anything, but we're going to place the bolts anyway. So go to your circle tool, and somewhere maybe like 3/4 of the way up, I'm going to click here and drag out, and let's go with 0.25, so a 1/4 inch bolt. Hit finish sketch, and we're going to extrude that. It already goes to 1/2 inch. That looks good to me. Click OK. One bolt's not going to do it. We need more. So let's go with the circular pattern. Again, I don't have to click the features button. Just click on what I want to pattern, and that's that bolt. Now I click on the arrow next to the rotation axis and click in the middle. And now it's got it set to 6 bolts, which is good. That looks about right. Let's see what we've got here. We've got a nice looking gear here. All right, so let's save our work. So File, Save, and you need to make sure you are in your Google Drive file stream. Double click my drive, and I'm going to call this one a very specific name because it's a good habit. So gear 6-inch 24 tooth. So it's a 6-inch diameter gear with 24 teeth. Save. All right, so now let's modify this. It's actually really easy and fast to do to change this without actually drawing anything new. All right, so if you go over to your model browser, you'll see that as you hover over things, different things highlight. So if I go to extrusion 1, that's my original plate. Okay, so I'm going to click on the plus next to it, and then I'm going to double click on the icon next to the word sketch 1. Don't click on sketch 1, just the icon right here. Double click it, and now I can change that 6 diameter by double clicking on it. I can change it to 12, hit enter, and then hit finish sketch and watch what it does. Okay, so it boosts the whole thing up to 12 inches. But now I want to alter my gears so that they're not so spread out. To do that, I go over to my model browser and find the first circular pattern, double click the icon next to it. Now I can change the number of actual teeth that I have. I'm going to change it from 24. Since I doubled the diameter, I'm going to double the teeth to 48. Click OK. And there you go. I have 24. Now I have 48 teeth. All right, so let's make the hub a little bit bigger. So if I scroll around, I'll eventually find extrusion 2 is the correct one. Open up the plus sign and double click next to sketch. I'm going to change this to 4. So double click the 2, 4, and hit finish sketch. So you can see how quickly this is changing things without actually drawing anything new. So I'm going to change my bolts now. So let's find my bolts. It is under extrusion 5. So click the plus sign, double click the icon next to it. And I'm actually going to slide this up a little bit. So I'm going to click and drag right on the center. Let's go with right there. Hit finish sketch. And now I want to go ahead and make it so that I have more of those bolts. So that's the second circular pattern. So double click the icon next to it. And let's change it to 12. Okay, so now I've got 12 bolts. So just like that, I've made quite a few changes. So now I can go ahead and save this as something new. I don't want to hit File Save because that's going to save this new work onto my old name, which is 6 inches, 24 tooth. That's not what this is. So this time I'm going to go to File, Save As, so I can give it a new name. And I'm going to just click here and change it to 12 and change this to 48. Save. So now I've got a saved version of both of them. So if you actually go to, I made a little assembly here to show what they look like side by side. They're actually very different. We didn't actually draw anything new. We just changed the numbers and some of the amounts and the sizes of things, and look at what the difference it makes. So it is important to learn how to use your browser over here on the left. It shows you everything you need. If you hover over it, it's easy to navigate. Open the plus signs, double click the icons, and you can actually get a lot done in a very short amount of time. So go ahead and make a part and then save it and do some alterations to it by modifying the numbers and have fun with the program. It's a really powerful program. And once you learn these things, you can see how quickly you can get things done.